What's going on, everybody? We are back. What's up, y'all? We're back on the Check Swing podcast with myself and my big homie, Coach Santa, with his repping his Morgan State University, Morgan State Bears. Shout out to all the Morgan State Bears out there. Little HBCU love. It's been a little while since we've been on. I think we haven't been on since like January, or excuse me, not January.
Jesus.
July or October. I mean, July or August. Jeez, can I see it?
It's
It's been a while.
2023.
Yeah, it's been a while. It was sometime in 2023, but now we are back. We are here on New Twist Radio, where we always been, where we are home. And I gotta ask my man Miguel. Miguel, it's been a couple months. How you been, bro?
Been well, sir. Doing the little changey thingy, switching baseball organizations, and part of the reason why I'm wearing this Morgan State sweater is to show my pride for the school I will be enrolled in about 1 year from today, where I'll be actually starting my doctoral program at this wonderful institution in the fall of 24.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Proud of you. Happy for you. Wish you all the best with that. Does that mean that during that time we're gonna have to put the show on pause?
No.
Because you're gonna need to study. Because ain't nothing but good grades happening.
So put it this way: I got two master's degrees, and I got both of them with a full time job, coaching full time, and a bad back. So this will be an easier. Well, I won't say easier, but it will be easier to manage. I will say.
Okay. All right. All right. Just checking. But you let me know. What are you going to be studying?
I will be going into the master's program for community college administration and management.
Awesome. 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 You're gonna be running things. So it
That's the
sounds
goal.
like you're gonna be running things.
That's the goal.
Exciting time right now. We're gonna get into the show. Exciting time right now in baseball. We are down to the final four. Let's put it that way. We're down to the final four in baseball. You have the NLCS and the ALCS, which puts the Philadelphia Phillies, the Phillies of Philadelphia against the Diamondbacks of Arizona, and it also puts the Rangers of Texas against the Astros of Houston. Now, how did they get there? Well, there was a wild card round. Nobody really paid attention. It happened so fast. It was over before I even know it started. Miguel, did everyone get swept in the wild card? No, everybody did not get swept in the wild card.
Not in the
Right?
yeah, in the wild card. Yeah, everybody did get swept.
Everybody got swept in the wild card.
Yes, it was so long ago.
Well, okay. If we're not right about that, let us know.
Yeah, because we played the Marlins. Yeah, they don't count. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we played the Marlins. We swept them. I you know what? I have not watched. I did not watch a any other baseball game but the Phillies until the ALCS and the NLCS. I did not watch one other baseball game.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
So
I didn't even know. Here's how bad it was. I didn't even know Minnesota was in the playoffs till somebody said something about their series.
and they actually won a game.
And they actually won a game. I didn't know. Because I was only watching the Phillies. I was dead set on the Phillies. I was focused, laser focused on the Phillies. I wanted to see what they were going to look like in the playoffs to start off the playoffs.
Well,
And
well,
I hope we
well,
can.
well, well. Plus, I mean, you can admit to the people that you were kind of busy yourself with moving out of the
Yeah.
constraints of Philadelphia into the wonderful borough of where is it now?
We are in Lansdale,
Hmm.
Pennsylvania. Lansdale, Pennsylvania. Very, very nice area. A lot of farmland out here. It's kind of, I'll be honest with you, the way I wanted to live. I wanted to live in like a rural, suburby type area. Like, I get, like, you won't experience it at Morgan State, but it was kind of what I experienced at Eastern Shore. So, um, you'll experience a more upbeat things going on lifestyle. I'll experience the more laid back, nothing is happening, cow pie lifestyle.
So you're gonna be the dude out in front on like a Saturday morning with your um sandals and your high socks, debating on whether you're gonna call the cops on the kids across the street who are making a little bit of noise.
So half of that.
After that,
I'll wear my slides and my high socks regardless. I really don't care. My wife says I look like I'm from PG County when I do that. Um, I don't care. My high Nike socks, my slides. I'm not calling the cops on the kids. The kids ain't doing nothing. I mean, they're playing, running around. They're real little, real little. So yeah, I'll leave them alone for now until they bother me. Once they bother me, it's on.
there you
So back to yeah, that's why it's like a whole different setting back here, and I sound so hollow. I can like hear myself echoing, but um, so back to what we were talking about before with the ALCS, NLCS, the MLB playoffs. A lot of things going on with that. We are in the Final Four right now, both series. Oh no, wait a minute. Hold on. What's the ALCS now? Because I don't know who won last night's game.
Did you watch today's game? That just
No,
finished about maybe I don't know 45 minutes ago.
no, because you know why I didn't watch today's game.
Oh, I apologize. Not to
Yeah.
put any. Yeah, I don't want to cause any rift in your marriage. Um. So, game of the year. Um, game went
Really?
back. Huh?
I said, really?
Yeah,
Game of
game.
the year?
Game.
I missed it, and you're
Yeah,
gonna call it game of the year?
game of the year. I'll surmise it in as few words as possible. Um, Astros were up 2-0, and then Texas came up in the bottom of the seventh and scored 4 runs. Big home run by Garcia, who's their outfielder. And when he hit the home run, he did he stood and watched it,
Mhm.
and he kind of started walking slowly and did the little bat thing. Um, so the Texas Rangers were threatening again in the bottom of the eighth, and Brian Abreu of the Astros throws a 99-mile-an-hour fastball right in his shoulder.
Mm.
So
And Garcia
Garcia
did.
Garcia goes after the catcher because he thinks the catcher's the one that called it.
Mhm.
So bench is clear. It looks like everybody's getting swinging, and there was some forceful shoving, no swinging.
Okay.
So there was some hemming and hawing. Of course, the umpires got together. So they decided to eject Brian Abreu because they believe now bottom of the eighth, you're down by two. You know, do you really throw at a pitcher in the situation? Um, Personally, I
What do you
probably
mean
would have.
throw at a pitcher?
I'm sorry, the pitcher was throwing. They believe the umpires ejected him because they
Okay, I'm
thought
sorry.
that Abreu was throwing at Garcia.
And
Now,
you said what inning was it?
this was the bottom of the eighth.
Okay, bottom of the eighth.
Um, so the umpires get together, they throw him out, they eject him, and Dusty Baker loses his crap, and he gets ejected.
Mm.
So meanwhile, all the time Garcia is like, at first base, being calm, looking like the innocent bystander. A couple minutes later, then he gets ejected, but he kind of knew he was going to get thrown out. During that entire time, Dusty Baker does not leave. He sits there, and he has like this mean scowl on his face. So then I think the umpire is like, oh, here we go. So one of the umpires goes over and he's like, you have to leave. And he's like, F all y'all. You know what I mean? So he gives them a piece of his mind and he slowly walks away. So finally, top of the ninth, the closer is in for Texas. A base hit and a walk, and Altuve's up. He throws a curveball at his ankles, and Altuve hits a 3-run home run to left field. It is
Wow.
now 6-5. Texas comes back in the bottom of the ninth, 2 hits in a row, nobody out. Marcus Simeon hits a line drive, and the shortstop goes up like this and snags it, almost doubles off the guy at second base. I can't remember who the next batter was. He flies out to deep center field, and for whatever reason, the runner on second does not tag up. So then the last hitter up, I believe, is Josh Jung, who's their third baseman, strikes out to end the game.
So now that series is tied now.
Astros are now up 3-2.
Oh, okay. So
After,
the Astros won last night too, then, because I didn't.
right, yeah, and Astros won last night. So basically, it's a home series or an away series. So all the away teams have won so far. So Texas won the first 2, Houston won the last 3 in a row.
You know what's interesting about that? In my sports mind, in my NBA '90s mind, there was a series in the '90s between the San Antonio Spurs and the Houston Rockets. This is one of the years the Rockets, one of the 2 years they won championships in the '90s. Each team in that series, now they're both from Texas, just like this baseball series, both from Texas. Each team won the games on the other team's court, just like in this one. But it turned around and it was like I think Houston was up 3-2, and or whatever the case was. And I remember the announcer saying they hope it keeps up for one more game, but just one more game. And then like that's the game that it went the other way, and the road team won or whatever the case was. But that's very interesting that that's happening with a Houston team and another team from Texas. And then back in the NBA in the '90s, this happened with a Texas team and a Houston team. So it's sports is amazing like that.
And for those who may be watching us in lieu of the playoff game, Schwarber just hit a home run. So he cut the lead in half. Now it's 2-1 Arizona off of a lefty versus lefty, and he torched it.
Can we get some home runs with people on base? Listen, I know I'm asking a lot, right? Like I'm asking, we're getting home runs, and like, what else do you want? Well, I want home runs with people on base. I need that. I need that in my life. I'm going to move this mic closer to me. Hopefully, it can eliminate some of the.
It sounded like a tugboat actually when you did that.
Did it?
Yeah, it was like.
What's this sound like? Let me mute the mic. Hold on.
You don't have to mute the mic.
Well, I didn't want it to sound like like I was crumpling up a trash bag or something.
Oh, okay. Good.
How do I sound? Can you still hear me? Do I sound all right?
You sound wonderful.
Sounds just the same as I did before.
You sound like you don't need a break or a vacation.
No, I don't, because I got to get back into the swing of what's going on. And you're listening to the Check Swing podcast with myself and the star of the show, Coach Santa. Coach Santa, I believe, and I'm going to bring it up, but I believe you were of the people that said the Phillies were not going to make the playoffs. Am I right or am I wrong on that one?
Did I? Was that me?
I feel like I know one person that said it last year. If they're watching, which they may or may not be, they might be watching the game.
So I think I said that around the time when Trey Turner was having his epic slump, and this was before the ovation that he got when
Okay.
so and that's why it's hard to judge things based on any type of regular season, because if we're judging based on the regular season, like when we look at the Eagles, for instance, right? Everybody forgets that they lost to the Washington Commodores last year,
Mm-hmm. I
right?
didn't forget.
And it was like, oh well, how's this team a playoff team if they lose to Washington? And I believe it was one of only two losses. So it's like, and baseball, you really can't gauge anything based on the regular season. The top three teams in all of baseball were eliminated in the first round. You know, Atlanta is the first team in the history of baseball to win 100 games in back-to-back years and not make it to the World Series. It's like unheard of. So
Well, you know what? We got some comments too. I haven't even. Sorry about that. I got to get back into the swing of it.
the swing, man, come on.
All right. So Dara Checker says I multitask. Okay, I don't know what that. Watching the game and watching us. I hope that's what
Yeah,
that
that's
means.
that's 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 my baby niece who I had the privilege of officiating her.
Oh, yeah! Congratulations,
Yeah,
congratulations.
yeah.
She also says finally the HR curse has ended. She says you are. That's the funny part of going through these comments all late. You don't know what.
You're like,
Uh,
what?
she also says it's the lineup order, honestly, and it's a bunch. But I do think a lineup change would be helpful to a degree to help get bases loaded. I agree with that. Because Miguel, you and I are both of the elk of like Schwarber shouldn't be leading off. It should be Trey Turner or somebody to get on base, and then maybe Schwarber hits a Schwarber bomb with somebody on base.
Right, because it's like he had like I gotta look at his stats, but um it was what 48, 47, 48 home runs, and I believe he only had like 30 singles.
Yeah,
And
his average was horrible. It was under 200. It
and I
is.
get yeah, it was like 187 or something.
Yeah.
And I get that, analytics says that it's not just about average, but it's like then you run into this situation, solo home run, but you're still down.
Hmm.
When you really need like two or three. That's why I love JT Remuto, because he's the one that hits the doubles and hits
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
homer with runners on base. And I think if Bohm can get it together, because he usually has runners on base when he's at the plate.
Hmm. He just
He's
hasn't
guessing.
been able to come through.
He's guessing. It's like I think there was a couple of bats where he strikes out on like pitches right over the plate, and he's not arguing because it's like, yeah, that's a strike. It's like he's
Yeah.
guessing.
He also had a couple solid hits that were
Yeah.
plays were made, and can't do anything about that. Um, I would be interested in knowing what the analytics would say if Trey Turner batted in front of Kyle Schwarber. I would be interested in knowing what those analytics say. I would be interested in knowing if those analytics say with Trey Turner batting in front of Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner getting on base, Kyle Schwarber sees more fastballs. Possibly. Like I would like to know. I would, because I mean, let's be honest. Schwarber and then Trey Turner, that's dangerous too, right? Like let's say Schwarber gets on, which he doesn't get on a whole lot. I mean, I shouldn't say that. He does. His average is not good enough to say that he gets on base a whole lot like a leadoff man you would want a leadoff man to do. But Trey Turner behind Kyle Schwarber is probably just almost as dangerous as Kyle Schwarber behind Trey Turner. I mean, if you think about it, like they both got pop. Schwarber has more pop, like he has more power, but they both got pop. So the fact that Schwarber just doesn't hit for average at all, like a traditional leadoff. I think that's what bugs people because when Trey was going through his issue, would you have wanted him to lead off?
I mean,
I hate the fact that like when you're in the house and you don't have a whole bunch of stuff in here, you can hear everything.
oh, like
Everything.
yeah, I hear the creepy crawlies. Sounds like you're ready for Halloween. But to go back to your point.
Why? I'm sorry. I'm this is my
Go ahead,
last.
go ahead, Matt.
Why? Why? Before we started the show, there was no movement. None. You're laughing because it's true. There was no movement before we started the show. I hit the live button. The whole house comes alive.
I think I think it's a female thing. I mean, don't tell my wife I said that, but yeah, I think it's a female thing. It's like I saw a meme the other day. It's like you could be doing cartwheels down the steps. You can literally get hit by a car, but the minute you're silent, then your wife is like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like seriously? Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say something, and it's being recorded, so it ain't like I can really hide it. Last night, watching TV in the bed, watching TV with the wife, right? Watching the show I really like to watch, right? She was talking about something. I forgot what it was. She was talking about something. The commercials come on. It stopped. Like it stopped. I'm like, okay. Show comes back on, just like that. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. You just had a whole 2 minute and 37-second pause. And then once my show comes back on, oh,
I
it's
I think
amazing.
it's they're looking for the deals and the sales in between your attention. So it's like, oh wait a minute, I'm trying to see if I can find a sale. Okay, no, okay. Now let me go back to steal your attention.
And Dara says she can't relate. No, you probably
Uh,
can't. Probably can't.
well, she's grown. She's gonna learn how to be. She's gonna learn. She's a good liar.
All right. Let's get back to what we were talking about.
Mhm.
Let's just get back to the show. Do the Phillies pull this series out, Miguel? Do they go back to the World Series?
Not based on what I'm watching. No. I think I think at the end of the day they pull it out because even the game they won yesterday or they lost yesterday, they lost it in the ninth.
Mhm.
It was really kind of a bad break between I'm still not too keen on Kimbrel as a closer for us. Um, it's just I just don't feel that same confidence, you know. Um,
He's older.
I
He's
mean, even that it's just it's an issue that I have with closers in general that for whatever reason, once they have a runner on base, they just can't hold them. And I think if you remember, like he walked the first guy, and
Mhm.
he did not look over. And as soon as he was up into his motion from the stretch, he was halfway down second base.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what's the point of being in the big leagues or pitching if you're not gonna pay attention to the runner? Just give him the double. You know what I mean? So
You making $10 million this year. You can't look over.
right. So between that, but that aside, other than the closer, it was still what a 2-1 game. It wasn't anything. It's not like they're out hitting us per se. Even the game now, it's like really tight. It's 2-1. It could be because they're playing in a really big stadium. Was it Chase Field in Arizona? So, but between like it's like the series between Houston and Texas, which sounds weird to say. Um, but they're both power hitting teams, and it they were going kind of tit for tat at the plate. You know what I mean? Both dangerous hitting teams. So it was just a matter of time before the Astros kind of got back because I think they were really slumping the first two games, but now they kind of got into their groove. They're becoming clutch. Um, but if the series goes back to Philadelphia, and if we can steal at least one game in
The
Arizona,
series will go back to Philadelphia, but what
well,
you're seeing right now is
right. If it's yeah. So I
Mr. You okay over there?
what'd you say?
I thought, you okay over there? You just did he freeze?
Sorry, I was I'm multitasking too, Miss Dara Checkies. Um, but yeah, I feel better about the. Oh yeah, and it's 102 degrees. So that was the other thing too, and I was teaching because my niece is still learning the game because she sound when she talks about baseball, she sounds like a tourist. Um, so yesterday, part of the reason why they didn't hit well was because number one, they flew in late the night before, and they did not take BP. And today they did take BP. So
Are they hitting the ball better today?
no, but at least they got BP.
You know, I feel like professionals don't need to have BP before a game. Like at this point in their career, probably because now it's routine for them. But
Well, they do from a standpoint of so as a coach, I remember there was a couple of games where we had a couple of early morning games, and I thought I would like early morning games, but those were probably the worst hitting teams that I ever had to coach. And I remember there was once or twice where we couldn't hit because of some bad weather the night before. So what I started to do was I started to bring like the hitting plyos. So I made sure that if this ever happened again, like they would be able to hit something or to kind of mimic the swing, so that way they get like that feedback
yeah,
when we hit. And I remember when we did that for an 8 o'clock game, after like rain the night before, the I noticed the other team wasn't hitting. I was like, let's go off to the side or the corner. Let's just hit the plyos. Let's get the momentum of the swing, the rhythm of the swing. Let's do that imagery of seeing the pitcher go through their motions, stuff like that. And we tore the cover off the ball. You know what I mean? So I think from a standpoint of like preparation, even if you're not like trying to kill the ball, but just getting, the blood flow, getting, the momentum, getting kind of like your mind prepared to, take that initial step and, getting into the rhythm. I just think it helps from a rhythm standpoint.
so I agree with you on when you're talking about the teams that you were coaching because they may not be playing every day, right? They
Mhm.
might just be playing on the weekends.
Right.
But I feel like when you're talking about professionals, and when we're talking about BP, you're just talking about BP on the field. You're not necessarily talking about what they may be getting in the tunnel or whatever like that. Um, I feel like it shouldn't matter, and I could be dead wrong, but I just feel like it shouldn't matter to professionals. You just played 160 something games, not counting preseason, not counting the previous rounds of the playoffs. You should be able to get in the tunnel and hit off, maybe hit off the tee, hit some soft balls, and the blood should be flowing, right? Like
Mhm.
you were just, I just feel like you should be there. Um, being probably wrong, I would also say What about the days when they get BP and they get no hit? Like BP didn't help that day, I mean, but that's BP. I mean, no hitters are special, so that's just an extreme that I'm taking it. Dara said they are at least hitting the ball through. I feel yesterday they couldn't touch it, but today they are getting a feel. I'm just hoping it's a quick enough adjustment for the back half of the game. Sounds like you've been teaching her well, Miguel. Oh, you've been teaching her very well. Proud of you, Grasshopper. Let's talk a little bit about Aaron Nola. He started game two, pitched a hell of a game two. I mean, he really pitched well. He looked really good. Um, he's a free agent after the season is over. There's been, talk back and forth about, should he be the guy? Should he be, he's the number two guy here right now. Would he be an ace somewhere else? Would he be a number two and number three somewhere else? Based on everything Miguel, what are you doing with Aaron Nola this offseason if you're the Phillies?
Well, I think I was one of the advocates of trading him and getting something for him before he went off into free agency, so that we wouldn't make the same mistake that the Angels did with Ohtani. But I'm pleasantly surprised with how he's pitched this postseason. Because I think he was great last year up until the World Series. I think him and Zach Wheeler kind of lost steam. But like he's just like he's pinpoint on his changeup. His curveball is just like the spin rate has to be like off the chain right now. It's like he can do no wrong kind of sort of thing. I would still be nervous about facing the Astros again. Although part of me wants that kind of revenge from last year.
Dangerous, man.
Now that we don't care if Dusty wins anymore because he got his and whatnot.
Right.
But I'm pleasantly surprised with him how he's pitched in the playoffs because I think he's even better than last year. But he's going to test free agency, and do you take a chance on an Ohtani? Even though he's not going to be able to pitch for another year, but you will have his bat in the lineup. Do you?
I don't know. Let's unpack that for a little bit. I don't know if they can take that chance on Ohtani. Just thinking about the situation, right? If let's say they don't sign Nola and they do sign Ohtani, what do you do with Ohtani? Because he's not going to be able to throw the ball.
Well, I mean,
you put him in. You got to do this, right?
Okay, so here's how I'm blowing my general manager / MLB the Show thing, right? You keep him. You keep him at DH, and you trade Schwarber. Now, I know that I said I am backtracking on a lot of crap I said months ago. I would probably trade him or see if I could package him in a trade to possibly get Juan Soto. And I know I said what I said about him, and I think it's more so the environment in San Diego because I mean they regressed bad as an organization. So I don't know if the clubhouse is a bad thing or what. But when I compare the averages, he hit, I think, just under 40 home runs this year. But when I look at the batting average, he was at about 260, 270. Imagine having Juan Soto right now with almost a 70-point higher batting average. So that means you would have him leading off and he'd be actually on base a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it could be beneficial.
And granted, I know Schwarber's a great clubhouse guy, but like you were kind of saying, like the solo home runs are kind of,
Well, all right, but that's not his fault. There's
sure.
only one time. Yeah, it's not Schwarber's fault.
Yeah, it is.
Like they're home runs. It's not his fault that they're solo home run. Only time that he can. That the only time that he doesn't have a chance of hitting a solo home run when he leads off the game.
Mhm.
Outside of that, somebody needs to get on base before he gets up to bat.
Right.
Unless he's leading off an inning, and at that point, it doesn't matter that he's the leadoff man. But the rest of the team has to do what they need to do to get on base, and then he doesn't have solo home runs. Just saying. But I can see where Soto. I wouldn't be mad at Soto and Otani. I don't think there's enough room in Philadelphia for Soto, Otani, Harper, Castellanos, JT Realmuto,
I'll,
Joel
I'll,
Embiid, Jalen Hurts, and whoever the flyers are.
I'll tell you what. If the Phillies don't pull out, win another world, don't win the World Series this year, it may be a stronger possibility.
I would agree with that because they would definitely they would make some changes. I think some changes would definitely be in order. You
Now,
want me
would
to
you?
pick that up that you just put?
Yeah, sure. Now, what about Trout? Because now the Angels, I believe,
They're listening.
they're listening to offers. Now, the only thing that scares me about Trout is, apparently it's been discovered that he has a back condition, and we all know that when it comes to backs, whenever I hear back, I always think of like Eric Chavez in Oakland, who was one of the best third basemen until he wasn't anymore, or David Wright, who was one of the best third basemen, and they both had to retire because of their spine conditions and their back conditions pretty early. I think David Wright retired at what 33, 34. Still has some good years left in him, and same thing with Chavez. Um, so
I
that would
didn't
be
even
my
realize David Wright retired.
say
I
again.
just hadn't seen. I didn't even realize David Wright retired. I just know I hadn't seen him in a while. I just thought maybe he fell off, but I didn't know he
He's
retired.
been retired for about 3 years.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and and I think the first year he was gone, it was because they were trying everything to try to get him back on the field, but he had that back condition. That that would be my only fear with Trout, and I think the first like 6 or 7 years of his career, he's playing every game and everything like that, and then pretty much since he signed that mega deal, becoming the highest paid player right after Harper, he's been injured every year.
Yeah, he
He had,
has,
he had
and
critical injury.
and it's kind of like he just signed that deal. What 4 years ago, 3 years ago? And I'll ask you what happened in a second. He just signed that deal, and they like 2 years ago were like, yeah, Trout is not like they extended him or something, whatever way. Right after Harper, they like extended him and whatever, and Dara just ruined it for me. But it's all good. Thanks, Dara. Um, I lost my train of thought.
You were talking about his when his contract was done.
Yeah. Oh, so the Angels were saying like they are not moving Trout,
Right.
and then now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we're listening.
Well, the other part of that too was that some Philly fans and some Philly voices actually turned on him because the hope was that, well, why wouldn't he want to come back home to Philly even though where he lives is like 40 miles north.
Excuse me. Yeah, like
But
well, let me don't lose your train of thought. Okay, why wouldn't he want to come home back home to Philly? Because he lives in California.
Well,
Everybody, because he lives in Anaheim or something around there, Calabasas or something.
it's technically northern Los Angeles or whatever.
He lives in L.A.
Well, because then I guess the thought was, well, he doesn't really care about winning. He just wants to play because you would think he'd be doing more commercials or things like that, but that's just not him. He just wants to play the game. He loves the game. Um, and I think he does kind of want to win, but he also doesn't want to rock the boat either. Which to me is kind of like, well, where's would he actually be a good fit in Philly? Does he if he's not really if he doesn't care about winning or losing, then he's just kind of there. Why would he want to be here when we really would need him, to be competitive, versus like a Juan Soto who's been there, done that, and the situation is so bad in San Diego, who would not want to, you know, go back to their winning ways, you know what I mean? Have that winning atmosphere again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I get it. I get it. I feel like do, do you think the Phillies signed and were seeked out, if that's a word, seeked out players that they knew wanted to win, or do you think that attitude was generated throughout time of being together?
You said
People, huh?
you're talking about specifically the Phillies organization.
Yes, the Phillies. At this roster over the last few years, because I believe that they want to win.
Hmm.
It's obvious that they want to win,
Hmm.
but I'm wondering, like, was it always that way, and they just got better, or did they develop that I want to win attitude over time? Because I mean, they really didn't start popping like that until Girardi got fired.
Right.
They didn't make the playoffs the year before that. Same roster
Hmm.
for the most part. They were bad when Girardi was there. Same roster for the most part. Fire Girardi, Thompson's in there. They go to the World Series. Next season, they're one round away from the World Series right now. Was the want to win always there? Did they develop that together, or I don't know. Like, and the reason I ask that is, can Trout come in here if it's true that he just wants to play? He's not like a want to win guy. Can he develop that by being here in this locker room in that clubhouse?
I think it could be developed because I always think about the Eagles the year they won the Super Bowl, and I remember when we traded for Ajay, the running back, right? And I
Mhm.
remember all of that week, even before he played a game, even before he was at practice. Oh, his he's hot headed, and he's not gonna he's gonna break up the roster.
Mhm.
He's a me first type of guy, and you and I remember. I don't remember him saying a peep
No,
about needing
no.
the rock and stuff like that. But that's where I think I know some people don't really think that culture means anything, especially in sports or like in a locker room, but it means a lot. You know, one of the last teams I coached for my last organization, our record wasn't very good. I think we won like 4 games out of like 18 or 19 or whatever we played. But after a while, when I was really kind of encouraging the guys, like, you guys are good. You have like the stuff. We just got to put it together. So we wound up, as heartbreaking as it sounds, there were quite a few games where we were actually leading. I think it was like 8 games in a row we had a lead. And I think we only wound up winning like one out of those 8 games. But because because you know me, like especially when it comes to a team that's focused on development, I'm putting you in the situation where bases loaded, we're down by one. I need you, or we're up by one. I need you to close it out. And I remember having this one pitcher who I think I did that to him one time, and he just wasn't ready for it. He was just all over the place, and he was huffing and puffing. And then it got to the point where I had him warming up in the bullpen, and he was by my side. I was like, all right, I'm trying to get the situation for you, whatever. And he's like, I got this, coach. I got you. And I'm like, you know, but when you hear a player say, I got you, versus like, I think I can do it, versus when I got you. You know what I mean? You know that, okay, he's turned a corner mentally. So now we can actually put him in the situation, this pressure situation, and get out of it. And he came in. I was like, dude, there's nobody out. He's like, I got it. Nobody out, bases loaded, pop up, and 2 strikeouts. And we wound up winning that game like 5-3. It was a beautiful, beautiful win. Although how we won it was absolutely stupid. It was one of those dumb. We won by dumb luck because I think it was the catcher threw behind the runner, and the runner at second broke for third. The first baseman dropped the ball, and he like kind of went away. So the first baseman throws it to home, and the guy that throws the base runner out. I was like, that was the dumbest win I've ever witnessed in my life, but I'll take it. But
So they went and got the base runner out instead of the guy trying to score.
right, so I was like, however, I was like, I think at the end after the game, I was like, I have no words. Congratulations, get the hell out of my face. but
I
but I
believe
think,
this.
and it's not that I think Trout loves the game enough to play hard. But again, like you always hear over time, like players want to win. They want to play on a contender. And I think that's what kind of leaves me like doubting that, because other than them signing Otani and even Rendon, what has the Angels done? What have the Angels done to prove to you that they want to win? That
Well,
makes you
I'll tell
want to
you.
forego your that makes you want to forego your arbitration years. You know what I mean? I,
Yeah,
I, it didn't make sense.
I'm gonna take it somewhere a little different. I'm gonna take it somewhere a little different, but follow me here. I think you have to come from a very different place mentally to want to win in LA. What do I mean by that? First person that comes to mind, Kobe Bryant. A whole different animal mentally.
Right.
Magic Johnson, mentally, a different animal, right? Trying to think of some other LA teams that were good. Wayne Gretzky. I'm just going to assume a whole different animal mentally, right? Because when you're in LA, no matter how good your team is, you're the sideshow to something else. You know what I mean? Like you're the Lakers. Like probably the Lakers could be the only team that runs LA. But if you're the Angels, if you are the Clippers, if you are the Kings, if you are the LA Galaxy, if you are the Dodgers, anything else in LA really trumps you, right? Like think about it. You got Hollywood, you got the fact that it's Los Angeles, you got the beach, the West Coast beach, you got beautiful people, whether they bought their beauty or not. Like it is a whole different vibe in LA than a majority of major cities across the United States of America. A whole different vibe. You can have um, like a big movie premiere with some actors from the movie that's going to be there, that's going to take precedent over the LA Kings game or the LA Dodgers game, right? The only thing that might be able to compete is the Lakers when LeBron is playing, when Kobe's playing. But if the Lakers ain't good, forget it. Forget it. Once LeBron is gone from the Lakers, I'm wondering what they're going to do to keep their hold in the city of LA.
Draft his son.
Yeah, they might have to. I mean, think about it. Like in LA, it's Hollywood, it's music, and then maybe it's the Lakers. And there's probably some other stuff before that, before you get to the Lakers. So I say all that to say, um, I can see where it will be hard to want to win in LA because you probably don't have the backing you have in Philly, in New York, in Dallas, in whatever city, in Chicago, whatever the case may be. I can see where it could probably be mentally. You can just feel like I'm playing baseball because it's a game. I'm playing football because it's a game. Where here in Philly, I'm playing baseball to win for these people. These people want it. LA, it's something to do to go watch a game. Right? They have their fanatic, but it's something to do, something else to do. In Philly, it's a way of life. Gotta understand that. I keep getting thirsty. We have a whole lot more to get to. We have not touched anything close to what we wanted to touch. Let's go through this pretty quick. Eagles wearing their Kelly Greens against the Dolphins this week. I said earlier in the season when you had mentioned it to me, why wear Kelly Greens against the Dolphins? Of all teams, like against the Dolphins. Now, it's a Sunday night game, which means the entire, the whole league, the whole country will be watching. But why not have the Kelly Greens against Dallas or the Giants, or something like that? Like the Dolphins?
Maybe it's just a test run or whatever the garbage they're talking about. Yeah, I think it would have been it'd be nice like a rivalry jersey, call it a rivalry jersey, just wear it against your rivals, and have the Giants, come out with the big Giants logo like from the '80s, and you know what I mean, like have that like old school, '80s.
I think you need to apply to the marketing department of the NFL.
Absolutely.
I think you need to do that.
Well, I prefer baseball. I don't like the concussion. I don't like the concussion thing in football.
Well, I didn't say you had to play. I just do the marketing.
No, I got you.
If you get a concussion doing marketing, then you're definitely
I go hard. Sorry.
You need to reconsider your life choices.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Kelly Greens. I like the Kelly Greens. I actually like looking at this. I don't like this jersey for some reason. It looks a little darker than I expected. I think I expected it to be a little brighter. I feel like when that year that Mike Vick was playing and they wore the Kelly Greens, I feel like the jerseys were a little brighter.
So you see the green on that wall behind him?
Yes.
That's what I was expecting. That darker. It's like brighter but darker.
It kind of pops out more.
It kind of pops out, yeah.
That's what I was expecting as well.
For this, it could just be the lighting.
Could be. I was kind of thinking more like between what's on the wall and what's on that sweatshirt back there.
Yeah, I think the sweatshirt. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That sweatshirt's a little light. The wall, I think, has it.
But I like the helmets though. I definitely like the helmets. I'm probably more excited to see the Kelly Green helmet than I am to see the Kelly Green jersey, especially now since it's not as bright as I thought it was going to be. But
you know what jerseys like undercover, like really sharp? Have you seen the Jets black jerseys with the black helmets?
Yeah.
Those are sharp. Those are sharp.
I have a confession to make.
You're not a Jets fan, are you?
No. But I have a confession to make. As much as I hate the Dallas Cowboys,
Oh Jesus.
I used to really like those jerseys with the star on the shoulder that they wore.
Oh, ew.
I really like those. Man, I thought those ones was pretty tough, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I
I
didn't like
don't
the
have one, but you know.
I didn't like those jerseys as much as I did not like when the 49ers did the white pants.
Oh yeah, they look weird.
It looked weird. You have gold, red, and white. It's
Yeah.
you traditionally what your helmet matches the pants. It just was off to me. I was like, this is stupid.
It looked off to me at first, but I feel like it grew on me real quick. Plus, I don't like the Niners anyway, so yeah. But I liked them when Dion was there. When
I,
he went
I,
there.
I'll be honest. I was never a Dion fan.
Oh man, I was a huge Dion fan. Huge Dion fan. I was playing football. I was a lineman, but I wore a bandana under my joint.
Did you wear a gold chain and drive a Lamborghini
Nah,
or a power wheel?
nah. Well, did I have a power? I don't know. Yet that's my mom and dad. If I had a power, you know what? I think I did have it.
I never had power wheels.
I have to. I feel like I had a Bigfoot power wheel, or maybe I knew somebody that had one. I don't know, but
I had a tricycle that rusted. That's how long I had it, and
ooh, how
the
long
the
did you have it?
the
Till you was 13?
not until I was 8. The third wheel wound up popping off, and I had to try to make a third one out of what it was. Yeah,
Ooh, man, lovely, lovely being a kid, ain't it? When you do
yeah.
stuff like
Being
because
a
you was
kid,
determined, you was gonna make it work, wasn't you?
absolutely. Kids in the hood. All my toy cars all had 3 wheels. Yeah, absolutely. We made it
You would
work.
make it work, and you would interchange them bad boys if one worked on all of them. You would interchange them depending on what you wanted to push that day. You already
You
know.
know.
Um, this is the question I really wanted to ask: are the Eagles really good? Because I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know. And even if they had blown the Jets out, I still would say I don't know because I feel like they're lacking very much.
Here's and this is a question I ask amongst my buddies and whatnot. Are the Eagles is the issue Hurts' regression or the fact that this is what his 5th offensive coordinator in 6 years?
So I'm not one to say that Hertz has regressed. Okay. I know that the numbers probably show that. Um, I still think the skill is there, the talent is there, and I think it's even a little bit better than it was last year. I think the defenses are game planning a lot better for what the Eagles were doing all last year, which is not going to be working this year because everybody has seen it. I feel like they're doing a better job bottling Hurts up. One of the biggest weapons Hurts has was his legs, and he made a lot of runs last year successfully. They're bottling that up. They're taking that whole dimension away from him
Yeah,
and
they're forcing him to be a pocket passer.
forcing him to be a pocket passer, which I believe he can be. Um, I just think that he probably needs to slow himself down at this point
Yeah.
because he's missing some open targets at times, and he did last year too. But he's missing some open targets at times, and he's probably just got to slow himself down. I feel like he's trying to win the game on every possession, every time he touches the ball, as opposed to like I feel like he's trying to get back to the Super Bowl right now, as opposed to taking it one step at a time like they did last year.
Right.
And because of that, I have to say I'm not really I don't know how good they are. Yes, they start off the season 5-0, But I was not impressed in not one of those wins. Not one was I impressed with anything the Eagles did. Not one. Were you like? What were your thoughts?
No, just between the sloppiness. We go through streaks where we just like like you had a couple of those big drops by Devontae and wide open space and I think that was the concerning thing about some of the throws with Jalen. Like some of them, he was kind of wild high, and I'm like, I remember this hurts, and I don't like it. But between the inaccurate throwing and not seeing people wide open underneath, I think those are the big things that, like, for me, are like, okay, those are tells that either, like you said, he's rushing, um, or he's just not seeing it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I think with the new offensive the offensive coordinator kind of scared me with a comment that he made because it was very it was very Andy Reid esque when everybody would challenge him about, like, it's always the same question. Do you think you had a good run pass balance? And he was like, well, we keep in mind that some of those passes are kind of designed runs, and that's like, oh goodness, I hate this part. Um, because like last year we ran the ball when we should have ran the ball.
Yes.
This year
Sometimes.
we're not
This
running the
year,
ball
yeah,
when we
this year
should.
never ran at all. I
Right.
mean, you they ran the ball under 20 times this past week. Am I correct?
Correct.
Under 15 times, I think, but it was under 20 against the worst run defense in the league, or one of the worst run defenses in the league.
And that's where I go back to Andy Reid, because remember, Andy Reid would do stuff like that.
Yeah.
The
Hmm.
best running game in the league, he dropped McNabb back 55 times. It's like,
Yep.
this doesn't make sense. And I think it's the as a coach, I have to outsmart the other people, but you wind up outsmarting yourself. I hate to see it. It's like
Yeah, it's
go
deja
back
vu.
to last year.
It's deja vu. Here's one of the other things that I feel like is an issue. I feel like our offensive coordinator is a Brian Johnson, right? I feel like he is too close to Hurts, and it was one of the things that I thought was a good thing when when they named him the offensive coordinator. Um, but now I feel like if he's the one that's calling these plays, is he calling all these pass plays because he knows Jalen Hurts and he's trying to get Jalen, you know, he knows that Jalen, likes to throw the ball and all like that. You know what I mean? Is he trying to get Jalen some shine? Like, is he trying to get him to shine, or is he trying to win a football game? Like,
Well, there was an argument, I believe, in Philly about some arguments between AJ Brown and the offense coordinator not getting enough touches. And
mm,
if you look at some of the games where he's throwing to AJ a little more often than whatnot, it's like, why is he throwing to him in double coverage? Why he's triple covered?
yeah,
You know what I mean? So to me, that's like kind of a tell. Like, now he's trying to win, but he wants to win with his guy having all the catches.
yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. um, Julio Jones was signed by the Eagles this week. I
Yeah,
didn't see that coming at all. I probably would have liked to see somebody sign in the secondary, but it's like it's kind of like what they did last year, where they signed Ndamukong Suh and who was the other lineman that they signed? He was I forgot. His name was in my head that quick, but anyway, I think they traded for him maybe from the Bears. Anyway, they loaded up.
Yeah. He was a
They loaded
defensive
up. Yeah, they loaded up with some star talent. Um, Ryan says Devontae, AJ, and Julio, good 3-man show.
I mean, he's right if we get the Julio Jones that, are we getting the Atlanta Julio Jones or are we getting the Tennessee Julio Jones? That
Yeah, I mean the Atlanta Julio Jones was
he
he
was a
was a
beast.
bad
But the
boy, but
problem
we ain't seen that Julio in a while.
yeah, it's like, and I know I like it from a standpoint of, all right, he's got something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
But we know wide receivers, you know what I mean? Like they all want to prove something, and
They
you can't.
all want the ball.
They all want the ball, and it's like, all right, you're going to give everybody the ball. Now, in my mind, I'm hoping that with Julio Jones, it kind of opens things up for the other two receivers who have the speed. So we'll see.
I don't think it will. Because I don't feel like defenses are going to focus on Julio.
Right.
But that may be the good thing for Julio. So then, because I'm still taking Julio 1-on-1 against most D-backs in the league right today.
I mean, from a side standpoint, absolutely.
So, I don't think that does anything for necessarily Devontae or AJ, but it might do something for Julio. Then if Julio starts to get off, then maybe it does a little something. Because now it's like, all right, who do you really, who do you focus on now? Ryan says we're for sure getting Tennessee Julio, but it's Julio as a third man option, not as a number one. Absolutely right. And as a Julio Jones as the third option, I mean, look, that's probably better than most. That's definitely probably better than most teams' second option, and it could be better than some teams' first option. What happened in the game, Miguel?
We need a breaking news. So the Phillies have loaded the bases with nobody out, and Alec Bohm.
Schwarber up?
Excuse me.
Schwarber, is he up with people on base?
No. Bohm is. Oh, it was just fair. So it was a ground ball to the third baseman, and he had to kind of jump up over the bag, and it was just fair. And the throw home, Schwarber was safe. The ball gets away, and Turner scores. So 2 runs score on an infield single.
Nice. I like it. So for those that don't know, those that are watching, I'm not watching the game, but Miguel is. So um, I'm getting updates that way.
And Bohm was out at second, but we still have a runner on third with one out. In the sixth.
I like it. I like it. The Tush Push, a brotherly shove.
I hate that name.
Is it unfair or are players just being soft? It's not what you put in the notes, but that's what I censored.
Well, I put up an opinion by JJ Watt, who I think kind of states it perfectly. He posts, the unpopular opinion: if they weren't allowed to push from behind, the Eagles would still be just as successful at QB sneaks. Yes, it helps, but the push isn't the reason it's successful. It's the O line and Jalen. I am getting kind of tired of hearing how much Jalen Hurts squats. We get the point.
Yeah, it seems like ever since I don't remember what week it was, but he pushed 3 guys into the end
Yeah,
zone by himself that time.
yeah,
We've been hearing every week about how much he squats.
right.
I think everybody knows now how much he squats.
Yeah,
We don't need to keep hearing about it.
and not for nothing, but we're not the only team that attempts it.
Right. There are other teams that have tried. Some
And I
successful, some not.
and I believe the percentage is fairly low. But the other thing is that nobody was saying this garbage when the New England Patriots would always do this. It was always the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody said anything when that they're just such a good team they can do that. It's like, okay, well, what's the difference? Besides the obvious difference, but other than that, like, what's the difference?
The difference is no one likes us and we don't care. Ryan
And
said no one else executes it at as high of a clip as Philly. Stop complaining. Everybody else does it and fails. Do you see the comment up there? No, I don't know if you can see it, but there it is. Right there, I'm about to take it down. This is weird, but
what happened?
no, I don't know if you're seeing the clip. You're seeing the comment.
I saw. Yeah, I saw the comment.
Do you see it like right now, like kind of faded on there on the screen?
It's not faded. I see it. I see it clearly. The last one,
Right
Ryan.
now?
The one that Ryan posted.
Yeah, you see it up on the screen right now.
On our screen or the comments screen?
On our screen that's going out to the people.
No.
Okay. See, I'm seeing it faded. Like it's weird. I'm seeing it.
They may have changed your. Okay, they may have changed your layout.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I shouldn't be seeing it at all, but it's been a rough evening. We're bringing back the big dummy. Okay, we're gonna bring back the big dummy. As you know, here on New Tush Radio, the Big Dummy Awards have been quite a staple here. But as we get that together, there is a question. Is Josh Harris the owner of the New Jersey Devils, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Washington Commanders? Is he a fool for being the owner of a football and hockey rival to Philly? I say no, he's not a fool. He don't. I don't. He's not from here, is he? I mean, where is he from? He don't care nothing about that. All he cares about is that money.
Right.
Is he a fool? No. I'll be that kind of fool. Let me be that fool.
Can I be a fool? It's annoying from a sports standpoint, but from a business standpoint, hey,
right,
man,
it's annoying from a sports standpoint. But he's a businessman. Come on, y'all. Come on, man.
But the only time it was annoying is when they keep talking about the downtown venue that looks like is going to be a huge and complete, utterly embarrassing failure. But when they talked about rumors of him trying to move the Sixers to New Jersey, that was a bit annoying. But he's got a quirky personality. Like there's that popular clip of him in the press box with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, and he's like, we have him here, and he's holding his hand out, and then Harris shakes his hand. He just looks so dorky, you know what I mean? He's got one of those. He's got one of those like hate the face.
Yeah. This is true. So we got some big dummies. We've been going for a little while, but we got some big dummies here for you. And so
we got three specifically.
You want me to start with Orlando Arcia?
No, let's end with him. Let's start off let's start with minor dummy number one.
With this guy.
WBC game. I think that I haven't obviously heard this place on the field, but I'd be very surprised if it trumped that Venezuela game down in Miami.
See, I don't know what's going on. This is the stuff I'm talking about here.
So I heard it loud and clear.
You heard it?
Yeah, I heard it loud and clear.
Didn't even play on my end. It just popped up on my end.
Oh, I heard it and it played.
Well, good thing I know it was on there. I'm going to take it down now. Good thing everything on my end is just bad right now.
And just to confirm, Ryan said it played perfectly, and Dara said she heard it too. So we're good.
Yeah. Well, here's the other one. Which I did already. I'm hearing this too, so I'll be quiet. So go ahead.
So to put it in perspective, the press conference, that was Mike Kelly, who was the starting pitcher for Game 2 for Arizona. He made the comment about, how the crowd, he never heard anything louder in his life than what he heard when they played in the World Baseball Classic back in January against Venezuela. And so he thought that would be the loudest crowd that he ever heard. So he kind of poked the bear. So when you saw him warming up in the bullpen, you noticed that there was an extraordinary amount of fans there who normally aren't there. But once they heard the comment, you poke the bear, you get trashed. So first pitch of the game, he gives up a home run, and that was the blowout game, 10-2. So warning to visitors: don't poke the bear, don't talk about the fans. Keep the fans' name out your mouth.
Oh. No, talk about us, please. Please talk about it. Please. All right. Big dummy number 2. Is that Orlando RC? You said save him for last.
Yeah, actually, let's do RC because the last thing is just atrocious. But yeah,
as we know, Orlando Arcia, he is the big dummy because when Bryce made his base running blunder, which I'll be honest with you, I really wasn't too mad about it. He goes on to basically troll Bryce in their own locker rooms and attaboy Bryce. And then, the next day Bryce comes out and hits 2 home runs, gives Orlando Arcia a stare down around both times. But then Arcia is seen, going back and forth with the crowd. Like, that's something you don't do as an athlete. You don't get into it with the crowd. Like, that's never going to go well for you. Never. And I think it was that night they actually got eliminated, correct? That was the night they got eliminated. So
no. They because the night they were eliminated, I think they were in their powder blues. So it was the next night that they got eliminated.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, I thought they won.
I think you're right about the powder blues. But I mean, I didn't see any Phillies in that one, so I don't know.
I got you.
And then we have these big dummies over here.
Hold on, pause it a second.
Okay, let's pause.
Let's go back to the beginning. Okay. Miami versus Georgia Tech. Miami's winning the game 20-17 with 30 seconds left. The entire world knows what needs to be done, right? Georgia Tech has no timeouts. What do? You take a knee. You run out the clock, call it a day, get a big fat W on the win column. But this is what they decided to do. Instead of kneel down, this is what they decided to do.
So as you see right here, they're lined up. They're going to play. Ball is fumbled, and Georgia Tech recovers the ball. Down by 3 with 26 seconds left in the game. All Miami had to do, like you said, Miguel, was kneel on the ball.
Now Georgia gets the ball back.
Georgia Tech gets the ball back. And I want to see again. Georgia Tech didn't have any timeouts left either.
No, none.
What were they thinking? There must have been somebody on FanDuel or DraftKings or Energy, whatever. Somebody must have been had a little scratch on the game. Somebody had to have a little scratch on the game. Ryan said that the Powder Blues are Thursday nights only. That is correct, and it was a Thursday night when they
clinched. So it was the Powder Blues that it was the next night after that.
Actually, it was a week from. Oh no, today's Friday. Excuse me. It was a week from yesterday. Arceus stupidity was on Monday. Bryce showed out on a Wednesday, and then Philly closed it out on a Thursday. That is
That's right, because the Monday game was in Atlanta. That's when
Monday
he
game
made.
was in Atlanta. Yeah.
So that was the
But
Wednesday.
my question was, when he was doing all that with the crowd, was that on Wednesday or Thursday?
That was Wednesday.
Thursday. Had to be Thursday. No, it could have been Wednesday because it was Monday. Yeah, it could have been Wednesday.
Yeah, because the Phillies were wearing the white pinstripes. That's when he was staring down.
Yeah,
Arcia. That was Wednesday night.
yeah. But they could have been giving Arcia the business on Thursday too, because
Absolutely.
I don't think I saw that video until Friday. So I'm just saying, but that means nothing. That don't mean it wasn't out before Friday. It just means I didn't see it until Friday. So those are our big dummies for the week, and we'll have some more for you next week. Some of the dumbest. Miami had to be the dumbest right there. They had to be the dumbest. Like, excuse me. All you like, I feel like the whole athletic world should have learned from the miracle at the Meadowlands. I really feel that way. I feel like you do things at the end of the game that you're supposed to do to win the. Like, come on, Miami. What were you thinking? What were you thinking, Miami? Looks like you want to stump me today.
Sure. Why the hell not?
All right, so I'm gonna put this up here, and on my end, it's going to take a little while to come up, so I'm not seeing anything right now. So don't anybody go in and put names in the chat. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn these comments on my screen. All right, here we go. The number 49, 39, 41, 51, 50, 50, 50, and 50. One-time All-Star and won the 2008 World Series. And we are talking about he won the series with the Phillies. He was number 50 for the Phillies. I don't remember who that was. I don't want you to tell me a position yet. I'm going to say Raul Ibanez.
No.
Damn, you were taking a while. I thought I might have been right. All right, give me the teams that he played for.
He played for the Cubs of Chicago, the Texas Rangers, the St. Louis Cardinals, the Baltimore Orioles, the Boston Red Sox, the Seattle Mariners, Philadelphia Phillies, and the Colorado Rockies.
I have no idea. What was he, a pitcher?
Yes.
All right, who were pitchers on the team? Is it J.C. Romero?
No.
Trying to think of who some of the pitchers were. You got Kyle Kendrick was on that team, right?
No.
Kyle Kendrick wasn't on that team?
He came later.
Oh, no. I'm thinking of Madsen. I was thinking
Brian
of
Madsen. He was on the team, but no. He was.
You had J.C. Romero, Ryan Madsen, I might be wrong, but I can't think of his name right now. The closer,
Brad Lidge?
Brad Lidge.
No, because I wouldn't have told you.
See, there's 4 comments in the thing. I'm not going to the comments because I feel like the comments are like going to ruin it for me.
It won't ruin it for you, but once you see them afterwards, you will kick yourself and maybe punch yourself. Maybe no slap, maybe not punch.
Well, I know Ibanez played for the Mariners, but that's it. That's all I remember.
He also played for the Yankees too.
He did play for the Yankees, but that was after us, wasn't it?
Yes, and he also did not pitch.
He was a pitcher for the Cubs. Give me the teams again.
Cubs, Rangers, Cardinals, Orioles, Red Sox, Mariners, Phillies, and Rockies.
Was he Latino?
Absolutely not. Nowhere near Latino.
Damn. I have no idea. Was he a starting pitcher?
Yes.
Was it Fat Joe? Joe Blanton?
No.
I'm trying to think of the starting pitchers. It was Joe Blanton, it was Cole Hamels, it was Brad Lidge. Who the hell was the other starter on that team? Yeah, Brad Lidge. I'm sorry, not Brad Lidge. You had Cole Hamels, Brett Myers, Joe Blanton. No, he wasn't on the World Series team. Yeah, yo, I'm mad. I'm mad. I can't remember this.
12 seconds.
Really, you gonna put a timer on me just out the blue, huh?
No, I won't do that. I won't do that.
Oh man, who was the third? He was the third starter, right? Because Blanton was the fourth starter.
No.
Pete, I got messages going on. I'm not checking my phone either.
I know.
Oh man,
He was like the fourth starter during the season, but like the third one in the World Series.
he was the third starter in the World Series. So you had Cole Hamels, you had Brett Myers, you had who was the damn? You had Joe Blanton.
I like how you keep saying Joe Blanton. You said him like 7 times.
I know. I did say he was Joe Blanton.
No, it's not Joe Blanton though. But
Okay. Well, I'm just naming the starters. Like I'm trying to think of the rotation, the starting rotation on that team. It was what teams did they play for again?
the Chicago. All right, so I'm saying this in the order of the teams that he played for. Okay.
Yeah.
Chicago Cubs, Texas Rangers, St. Louis Cardinals, Baltimore Orioles, Boston Red Sox, Seattle Mariners, Philadelphia Phillies, and the Colorado Rockies.
You're saying it too fast.
Okay, I'll slow it down. Chicago Cubs.
Okay, hold on. Give me the time frame of his career.
Oh, sweet Jesus. You might actually get it if I give you the time frame of his career.
Well, then I need it because I ain't got it yet.
Okay, I'll do this. He played between the cocaine.
Oh, I know who it is. I know who it is.
Did you look at the
I know who it
comments?
is. No, I didn't look at any comments. I didn't look at my phone. I just remembered who it was. Jamie Moyer.
Dun, 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 dun.
Jamie Moyer. From Pennsylvania, from Boyerton, Souderton. He's from Souderton, PA.
Yeah, some suburban PA.
Yeah, I think he's from Souderton. I think he's up the turnpike a bit. Yeah, Jamie Moyer. I couldn't.
He played 25 seasons, and he holds a all-time major league record.
So here's what threw me off. I did not know he played for the Cardinals. I did not know he played for the Orioles.
And that's because they were mid-season trades. So he didn't play for St. Louis, he only played for like a half a season. Baltimore, I think he played for one full season. Boston, he played for a half a season. And then he was traded to Seattle. So Seattle, he played there for like 8 years.
I remember him in Seattle. I think that's like the first I really knew who Jamie Moyer was when he was
right. And then we signed him as a free agent, or did we trade him? Either way, we had him in Philly for like five or 6 years. So he retired.
It was a free agent signing.
Yeah,
I don't remember. I feel like it was. Let me look at these comments now. Let me see. All right, let's see.
Ryan said he already knew who it was.
Yeah, Grandpa, the oldest one out there. Look at the comments. Oldest damn picture, not named Satchel Paige. Hold on, let me look at my phone to see if people are texting me
the answer.
Oh yeah, Ryan. Ryan did text the answer. I just got word that tomorrow's Penwood football game is postponed, and it was against Academy Park. I have a feeling. I have a feeling why, but I'll talk to you about that after the show.
Gotcha.
So, I'm not prepared to stump you today.
Good.
And with the issues I was having today, I'm kind of afraid to just go ahead and try it. I guess that means we're going to end the show right here. And we're going to say we appreciate y'all for hanging with us. Excuse me. We appreciate y'all for hanging with us here on the Check Swing podcast. What's going on in the game now? What's up?
Johan Rojas just hit a triple Apo Taco.
Oh, nice. And that means I can't wait to go watch the game. So we're going to get up out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging with us here on the Check Swing podcast on a whole new night, on a Friday night. You spent your Friday night with us. We appreciate that. We are going to get up out of here. Like I said, we appreciate y'all. Make sure you check us out next time here on the Check Swing podcast. We'll talk to y'all next time. Y'all be good. Y'all be safe. And y'all be with us next week. Peace.